Kibunjia, who is the Director General of the National Museums of Kenya. So you can look that up on the social media pages for Culture TV. But today we have with me a good man, a man that I have actually met before. I've actually been on a panel with him before. He is the acting CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center, Bwana Mike Pundo. My friend, karibu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mani.
It's good to see you looking sharp, as always. Sharp.
Yes. Actually, it is sap.
It is sharp.
Yeah, but it is a weakness.
Bwana Mike Pundo, I'm very grateful and actually honored to interview you on this one because you're passionate about theater.
Yes.
This is a place where I feel like you're quite at home.
Yeah.
Explain to me what's your background and how you came to be found in the theater.
Thank you. As you've been told, my name is Michael Pundo, the acting CEO of the Kenya Cultural Center. The Kenya Cultural Center incorporating the Kenya National Theatre.
Yes.
But as a person, my history with theatre dates back into what I call my earlier life.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of literature.
A graduate of literature?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I did most of my earlier life doing performances.
Oh, really?
Literary performances.
Especially the ones for set books? And
set books.
Yes.
And just general plays,
Okay.
stage plays.
Okay.
But again, choral music.
Oh, wow.
Actually, our neighbor, I'm a product of University of Nairobi, and I was the chairman of the university choir then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we would frequent theater halls, performances. Yeah, but before I came into this space, I was producing theater. I was directing theater.
Okay.
In schools. So again, I'm a product of the Kenya Secondary Schools Drama Festival.
Oh, okay.
Where I was, those days of districts and provinces, I was a district secretary.
Oh, wow.
Of the secondary schools drama.
The drama festival.
Yes.
Wow.
So yes,
so
I'm familiar with this.
I really like this conversation, and especially because you're saying that you're not only the acting CEO of the Kenya National or the Kenya Cultural Center,
yes,
incorporating K&T,
yeah,
but that you yourself have grown through a career of the arts.
Yes.
Performing and directing performances, being on stage yourself, so you understand what it means to be an actor. Exactly. You understand what it means to be a director.
Yes.
A producer looking for a venue.
Yes.
To stage some idea that you have. You're actually, maybe you're here representing both the government and the artist.
In fact, before it was even sad because the actor, our space was in the back bench. We would provide entertainment fine, but nobody would think beyond entertainment. For example, we would be called to entertain, and somebody says, we'll offer you lunch. And that is the only payment.
Yes,
and we would go to entertain just because we wanted to entertain, not that we needed to have value, monetary value from it. So yes, so much so in the past that the artist has been relegated so much to provide entertainment for entertainment's sake, which I think we are moving out of, and that is why artists coming into space now are finding it a bit better because now people think creative economy and people think getting value and monetary value from their art. So yes, that is where we are, that's where we are from, and that's where we are.
It's true. As one who has grown through the arts myself and one who's gone through the entertainment sector, I've been paid through exposure. For a long time,
yes.
Currency was exposure. And this place is particularly nostalgic for me because I've actually put up a production here when I was in college.
Yes.
I was in a little further down the road closer to Machakos, Daystar University. And we put up a production here, and this became a place of validation for our art, because what we had done in a little corner, what we had practiced in a little corner in school, we were able to bring to the world,
Yes.
and bring it here. Tell me, what is the mandate of the Kenya Cultural Center? We'll talk about these particular funds, but generally, what does the Cultural Center exist to do?
So many people, unfortunately, don't know the existence of the Kenya Cultural Center, but almost everybody knows the existence of the Kenya National Theatre.
Yes.
But then...
do you think it's the same thing?
Yes, it's one and the same. Okay. And actually now, for just information, the Kenya Cultural Center as an institution was established out of a parliamentary act. Actually, it is Cap 218 of 1951.
Oh, wow.
So our existence
it's older
dates,
than the Republic.
Yes, but that actually is older than the Republic.
Yes.
1951 is when it was institutionalized. While earlier, it dates back into pre-colonial ages. And so the Kenya Cultural Center, which now incorporates the National Theatre, and by the way, in the Act, we also incorporate the Nairobi War Memorial.
Oh, the one on Gong Road?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's also is in the Act, is part of the Kenya Cultural Center. And so, as an institution, our mandate is to provide for the performances of music, drama, and dance. So generally, this is an institution where performers of music, dances, and theater would find home, because we are supposed to do that. Secondly, we are also supposed to provide for exhibition of works of art and craft. Yeah. We also supposed to provide for meetings, and actually the Act is very particular. We should be providing for meetings which are related to discussions around literature, creative economy, and such like stuff. So generally, our institution is one that is mandated to contribute to harnessing and development of the diversity of Kenyans' heritage, cultural heritage, and even creative performances. So we have extended this mandate to go out and try now to develop talent related to theater and theatrical performances, so that then we can find people coming to the center to do their art. So yes, we are in development of talent.
And I want to talk about the development of talent just for a little bit before we go to this 100 million.
Yes.
Because, there's, when I look through social media, there are some institutions that feel better placed to implement this 100 million than the Cultural Center. And as we discussed earlier, I was curious to know, what are some of the talents that have been nurtured through a place like the National Theatre? And you had some names to mention.
Yes, actually, the Kenya Cultural Center is unique in its existence. Actually, the place we are sitting in, which is the National Theatre, is nicknamed the Shrine.
The Shrine, why?
The Shrine. I wouldn't know why, but I think a shrine, if you take it traditionally, is where inspirations are gotten from. A very reverent place. And so an artist, before we performed, before you go to stage, you want to get inspirations. What I don't know how to translate in English, but in mother tongue you say juogi. I don't know. Some kind of power that comes and removes you from being the normal Amani to a different you while on stage.
Like spirit filled.
Like you get filled by the spirit. So the shrine actually is a place that is revered by so many people. I think, and we read from books, that celebrity writers and play directors like Ngugi wa Thiong'o did their things here.
They started here.
Started here. Before then, things happened and they went into the bushes to do their plays from the bush.
Yeah.
But of late, and I think guys which we need to identify with, and this actually comes from their public confession. We have somebody like Churchill.
Churchill, yes. I know Churchill started here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And from Churchill's story, he came here and would wait for an audition and get 30 bob to go back home. Another person of note, and which we also all identify with, who, again, from his own submissions, started from here, is Jalango.
Jalango. Jalango, the comedian.
The comedian.
Yeah.
So those are guys, contemporary artists, who, from their own submissions and confessions, they started humbly from this spot.
So you're saying that it's possible from the support of the Kenya Cultural Center and the Kenya National Theatre in this particular space to be able to nurture art to a place of national recognition.
Exactly. And that is what this center has done.
So tell me, when it comes to this specific mandate, there's 100 million, a portion of which will be channeled through the Kenya Cultural Center.
Yes.
Who are the artists that sit, and what category? I know, the presidential order said musicians, actors, so I guess actors here sit in your mandate.
Exactly.
But who else sits in your mandate? Which category of acts under the Kenya Cultural Center?
Now, you rightly put it. We have musicians, actors, and artists in that particular executive order.
Yes.
But so for the Kenya Cultural Center, our major focus is actors. And we are talking about any theatrical performance.
Okay.
Which is broad in its sense, and we might not include all of them. But for quick reach, we have identified plays as so play artists and stage plays, for that matter. We are also going to focus on radio theatre.
Okay.
Which is also very prominent, though dying.
Yeah.
But,
and I
but
think it needs to be revived.
We have to.
As a podcaster, I think radio theatre needs to be revived.
Yes, we have to.
So I'm just adding to my own agenda here.
Then we are also focusing on the short form presentations of which are elocution, poetry, spoken word, storytelling.
Yes.
Mimes, which is a form of a
Do we
drama.
have mimes existing in Kenya?
Hey, so much.
Wow.
So much. We actually will invite you for a mime production.
Fantastic.
At the shrine, and you'll enjoy.
I can't wait.
Yes. Then there is this lot of artists who have been so much present in the theater, and they are very quiet but loud. Quiet in the sense that they don't talk, but their instruments talk for them. And I'm talking about the percussionists, specifically the drummers. Drumming is a major component of theater production because they either give cue, they send a message, or something. And so we are also going to focus on percussionists as an element of our theatre productions.
In fact, when I think about the National Theatre in my mind, apart from this Corona times, passing here, you always had drums. You always had drums. So that for me makes sense.
Yes.
So I've seen on social media that you've done a poster, a call out.
Yes.
To some of these acts. Tell me, how do you plan to implement your program?
First, we are saying this program covers the whole nation.
Okay.
And so, as the Cultural Center, we are going to use the associations. We are going to use theater companies. We are going to use individual artists, because actually our ultimate goal is the individual artist. Even though we are using associations, we are using these associations to reach that particular individual artist. But as a Cultural Center, we also have our prominent program called PAL,
PAL.
PAL.
Yes.
P-A-L.
Okay.
In the past, it has been called Poetry After Lunch.
Okay.
Now, there's no lunch here, my brother, because of Corona.
It's a shame.
So we are going to use, we recently christened it to Performances After Lunch.
Okay.
And so we also want to use our PAL platform to reach those particular artists who have been in the PAL project.
Okay.
And we have PAL satellite sites in Kisumu, in Busia, in Embu, in Narok, and in Kilifi. So we believe that these are structures which are stable enough for us to reach the particular artist we intend to reach.
Yeah. And it's good that you've talked about the different counties. In your plan on how this artists will be incorporated, what do you hope that they will be able to do? Because the CS said this is a work for pay. This is a work for pay program. So what will they do, and how does that work with the Kenya Cultural Center?
Actually, Mr. Imani, what we need to know is government has no free money.
Yes.
Even the monies we think are free, like the money for the old people, is never free. You must work hard to be old to get that money.
That's true.
And getting old is not easy. I hope we are working hard to be old. So there's no free money. And so we felt that we can't just justify sending money to artists, like the CS was saying. And so we want to spur thought around this. We want to ignite, though artists have been there, but because of Corona, the spirit is low. So it is actually to stimulate, and that's why it's called a stimulus package. It's actually to stimulate artists to start thinking and remodeling their art towards the scenario. We cannot go into the theaters anymore. We can't go into the clubs and do gigs anymore. So we want that artist, while in their hood or at home, to start thinking of how they can create stuff which then can reach their audience, ultimately earn them something as they sit at home. So there are two things here. The artist is stimulated, is spurred, is ignited to do something, but also after doing whatever they've done, then the artist can be able once again to interact with his audience, which used to go to the theaters but now are at home. So yes, we are not removing the artist from the scene. We want the artist to remain still on the scene so that their audiences can still see them, but at home. Now, with that then, we expect artists to do productions and pay or give them money based on the productions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying this money will either stimulate a production,
yes,
or in some cases pay after a production.
Yes. Maybe.
You know, and so in the different acts they need to produce something. Now, what will you do when you have access to these productions? How do you add value to these productions? Will you be able to showcase,
Now, as an institution, and I think as a ministry, and the CS alluded to it, when these productions are brought to us, then we have various channels in which we give them out to the people. One major channel is Culture TV.
Okay.
I think that is the dedicated channel.
Yes.
However, we will be, through a communication team that has been also set up by the CS, we will be channeling these productions to the mainstream media, social media, and even the artists themselves would have their own channels of doing that. But then that would just augment what we are doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about people living with disabilities. Have you considered them in this process?
They are at the core of this. Because, look at it. I want to give an example, two examples. there is a group of performers in Siaya who, it's a mixed group of persons with various types of disabilities. And they have been doing their productions and relying on functions. Because events
Yes.
to then get something.
Yes.
But now they have been told to stay at home. Another group is Bombolulu Art in Mombasa. Again, these are artists who have been producing works of art and taking to theaters, taking to markets, taking to social places, taking to weddings, but now they can't do it. So, and these artists only have art. I mean, they can't do anything because, again, they are disabled.
Yes.
So we have to think deeply on how, one, not to make them lose hope of the talent they have. In fact, to give them more spirit into producing and to show that, yes, despite the circumstances we are in, yes, they can still do their stuff and earn something. So we are seriously thinking, and actually we have incorporated, and as had been directed, we have set aside 30% of whatever we are doing to disadvantaged people and persons with disability.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. And now I'm going to look for those people. I'm going to look for Bombolulu Arts. I hope they have something online I can find. And the performance group in Siaya. Do you know what they're called?
They're called Kogelo something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing their art. I just have, maybe three more questions for us before we close. The question I want to ask you is then, you've done this call out on social media. What are your social media pages, and how can people get to see what you're looking for to implement this program?
Okay, now as an institution, we have our institutional platform.
Yes.
But this should be fed into the bigger platform of Culture TV.
Yes, yes.
Which is for the ministry.
Yes.
But so as we have given out a call for artists in the categories I had mentioned,
yes.
Plays, and actually for plays and group performances, we are limiting them to only a maximum of 5, because we want to consider the regulations of Ministry of Health,
yes.
in terms of social distancing.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so when there's a 5 cast, we'll not expect all the 5 to be on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
So that then to us, we feel will limit crowding. And so we have plays, one-man play or whatever. Again, we're asking people to be very creative in this. Yes. Then we have poetry, spoken word, storytelling, percussion, radio theater. And so we want all this to be sent at the preliminary to submissions at kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. That is the dedicated...
submissions at kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Okay.
Yes, and the person to be attention to is Kenneth Odongo, who is
Odongo.
Yes, Kenneth Odongo is our creative productions assistant.
Okay.
Actually, he's also an artist. He has a stage name called Kenneth B.
Okay.
Yeah, he does his things around this space. So yes, he's the contact person for submissions. But then all this information is also on our website.
Okay, and what's your URL for the website?
www.kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke.
Okay, so it's kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Okay.
Yes, so artists would do that. Now, I think what we need to note, and actually what the CS said, that this runs for 3 months.
Yes.
And so we are saying that at whatever point you feel inspired, you can still send in your submission. But then we have limitations in terms of productions, because again of budgetary issues.
Yes.
So we will have particular numbers of particular productions at different, in different areas within the country.
So you're saying there's a matrix in terms of the types of productions?
Yes.
Across the counties?
Exactly.
So there has to be, you're sort of balancing out a matrix of sorts.
Exactly. And Amani,
yes.
just on that,
yeah.
We are telling Kenyans that we want the messages coming out of these productions to reach the people. Actually, the president said the artists should produce, I mean, this money should be given to artists as they continue entertaining Kenyans.
Yes.
So we are saying that then your production should reach the person they are intended to reach.
The intended audience.
Audience.
Yes.
And that's why we are asking people who are making submissions to try and put them in languages that are easily understandable by your target audience. Like for Nairobi, we propose that we have productions in Kiswahili, Sheng, and English, because then that would be generally the language around here. For Western Province, we are asking Luhya and Kiswahili, or English. We are limiting English so much because we want the person in the village, when they listen to that radio theater, to be able to understand, and if it is comical, to be able to get the joke.
The joke in its original.
In its original, yeah, because you know when we translate the joke, then it will not be there.
Yes.
For Lake region, which is Nyanza and Kisii and Kuria and Migori, generally Nyanza and Lake region, we are encouraging productions again in Luo, Kisii, Kuria, Kiswahili. Okay. And now, specifically, and this is due to bias, we encourage more productions around there in English. because
I understand that English came from the lakeside. I will not even let that go further. But I've understood you that in the different regions, you want them to take the local dialects and Swahili as much as possible to create.
Exactly.
But I've heard you about the English. My question to you, based on that, is what's the overall number that you think the National Theatre will be, or the Cultural Center will be able to reach, just overall number of artists? What range do you think?
We are working between 2,000 to 3,000 artists across the country.
Across the country.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So when is this money being released? Yesterday I asked and no one seemed to be.
No. You know, there is, and government has structures and procedures.
Yes.
There is approval and release.
Yes.
Now, the money has been approved.
Yes.
Releasing has, again, processes to follow.
Yes.
Because, again, we don't go to the bank and get paid. So we hope in a week's time, money will be hitting our accounts and we start rolling. But despite the fact that we don't have cash in our accounts, we need to put in processes first. So that is why we encourage artists to just start submitting, so that we still don't waste time when now we have cash, because we have money, but we don't have cash.
Yes.
You go to the bank and you're told available balance and actual balance. So yes, we're telling artists to keep on submitting, so that when we are ready to go, we just hit the road.
Exactly. So you're saying use this time to submit, use this time to create, to put in your proposals.
Exactly.
So that when the funds are released, there's already works that can be released for these funds.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to give you your parting shot. And what I'd like you to do is to inspire young actors, young poets, young radio theatrics.
Call them thespians.
Thespians, that's the word I was looking for. Radio thespians, and just young people who want to use performing arts as a means to earning a living and making their mark in the world. If you had the opportunity to speak to them directly, speak to their hearts and to their minds, what would you tell them? I want you to look at that camera and inspire those young people.
But before I say that, something that has come to mind, and which is forming the basis for us as a cultural center to to go out to these artists. Within this space, we have had artists who just come, and I know all over the country, Nakuru Players Theatre, Little Theatre in Mombasa, there's just an artist who leaves home and come and stay at the theatre, waiting for an opportunity to have an audition. And when they get to the audition and casted, then they are sure they'll get 100 bob or 200, you know. Now that there is no audition, this artist is really suffering. Yeah? Then there's also this artist who is a creator. He is a script writer. He's bubbling with ideas. But now he can't produce. So he is still, you know, ideas still come, whether corona or no corona. So his head is full. And in some cases, when they can't produce, they go out to ventilate. Now they can't because they are told to stay at home. So these artists, if not taken care of, might have mental issues because now ideas will be too much. So we want to give these artists then the opportunity now to start again doing what they are doing. So yes, those are the artists which we feel as a cultural center we want to look at. But now,
and that I feel like that's a perfect backdrop for the inspiration that you should give.
Yes,
because that's a person I want you to talk to.
Yes,
as you inspire them to action.
Thank you so much. And our message as Kenya Cultural Center to the theatre artists and artists generally is that we need not to lose hope. We need to take up this opportunity that the government has given, that the government is only giving us a spur to be more creative. And actually, when we take advantage of this time, then we will stand up to be counted, that we made good of our time when it was a crisis. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bwana Michael Pundo. Thank you so much for hosting us and hosting these interviews as well at the Kenya National Theatre. You have heard, look out for the call out for submissions. I think it's on social media pages, but it's also going to be on the Culture TV social media pages. Respond to them, give your submissions, send them to submissions@ kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke. Attention, Ken Odongo. And do not be left out in this process. If you fall in these categories of actors, of radio thespians, if you're a spoken word artist, if you're a poet, if you're a drummer, you are included in in the mandate of the Kenya Cultural Center. And they are asking you to send them your submissions. God bless you. See you tomorrow as we interview the Kenya Film Commission, which is also one of the implementing agents. Thank you. Okay, so Bwana Mike, thank you for the information you've given us. In the audience here, we have a few people who represent different acts that could fall under your mandate. We're going to take a few questions if that's okay with you. So we'll start with you, gentlemen. Tell us your name, who you represent, and your question.
My name is Tash Mitambo, a theater director and producer. And I am also an actor, but today I'm here as a representative of the Kenya Scriptwriters Guild.
Kenya Scriptwriters
Guild.
Guild, okay.
Yes, KSG. So my question is simply concerning the scriptwriters. We see the Kenya Cultural Center is taking care of all the other performers who do their acts on stage, that is the actors, spoken word artists, and the others. But we have scriptwriters who are not associated with any of those groups. How are you going to take care of the scriptwriters?
Okay, so the question is how the Kenya Cultural Center is going to take care of the scriptwriters. Do you want to go with that first?
Yes. If you go to our website, you'll see we are making calls for plays, but also script writers. But we are asking script writers, it would be better if you have developed a script to also think of its production. Because as an institution, we will not take your script and make good use of it or meet our objective when you just give us the script. So fine, we can take you as a script writer, but then you think of then how we will produce this script. So yes, script writers are involved, but then a bit of more work, because after developing your script, you better think of how then is the script going to be produced.
So if I hear you correctly, you're saying that the script writer or any other part of this ecosystem needs to now create an ecosystem of their own so that they're able to create a production.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll take another question.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Mr. Ken Waudo. I'm here to represent an organization called Theatre Art Practitioners. This is a federation or conglomeration of theatre producers, the top ones in this country, if I may use that. One of the burning questions was, some of them you've answered from the interview by Amani, and I hope some of my members have managed to see that. But on a very selfish end, the question that they asked me to ask you was, when Waziri spoke of registered groups, and there's a clarion call already out that could also have individual members who are not per se belonging to any groups that are registered, or grouping for that matter. So in a very selfish way, the Theatre Act practitioners, there are about 44 theatre groups so far that I represent. They are selfishly asking, can they be considered as a priority, given that they have taken their time to come together as theatre practitioners? And the best one in this country, that I may use that. They're asking, can they be given a priority as organized lot, as opposed to those that are coming in from an individualized basis? Because the whole essence of, if I followed Waziri's sentiment, were, yes, most of us as association are not registered. And here we are fighting to own a group, and our interest is very simple, that we be on that stage and we do perform.
Because then we'll need a big cast for plays. And so we, after deliberations and consultations, we felt that if we have a maximum of 5 member cast, then that one can come on stage while still observing the guidelines. Our major block here is the guidelines. Otherwise, we would be free to produce the way we produce normally. So then artists and producers are asked to be more creative so that within the limited cast, we are able to make a production.
Okay,
Yes.
so thank you, Bwana CEO. I think just to reiterate some of the things that you have said, and that I have the CSS talking points, you're saying that you will work with actors, you will work with the groups as well, but there's also need to consider those that are most vulnerable, that
Yes.
do not have the opportunity that some of the more recognized artists have.
Yes.
And you're also saying that for the productions, that they must be seen to create or to follow the guidelines that have been set by the Ministry of Health. But for the period of this, I think there's a limitation also,
exactly.
that it's a period of this COVID-19 times. And after, we are allowed to go back into our normal spaces, then we can do bigger productions. Yes, we'll take one more.
My members are also online.
Yeah, we'll take one more question.
Throwing in one or two. They're asking, are the plays being done on a daily, what is the time limit? Are they being done on a daily basis? So that's, if it's a week, there are 7 groups, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that. Or what are the modalities in terms of time implication?
Now, the way we have structured, and because of limitation of funds, we have prorated productions with regions. So, like for theater production, has a definite number within a region. Yeah? And so we can't go beyond such a number. Now, these productions are spread within the 3 months. Once we get the actual artists, our producers, then we work on a timetable to see whether we'll have enough productions that will stretch within the 3 months, but that will not surpass our cap for that particular genre.
Okay, so you're saying each genre has a quota,
yes,
and you need to get the submissions first to figure out how you're going to work on that quota based on the regions.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll take one last question if there is, and then that's it. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, is there? Oh, there's a question there. All right.
My name is Ruth Mweni, and my question is...
We can't hear you.
It's okay. I'll listen. Just go ahead. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm saying my name is Ruth Mweni. I'm an actress. And my question is, for any production to take place, there's always a lot of production cost. And this means if you don't have a camera, you have to hire it. And also the people behind you for whatever goes on air. So are we going to have the studios available and also accessible for us? Thank you.
All right, so Moini is asking that there are some costs associated with productions, some that are never seen at the front, so like cameras, people working behind the scenes. Are there any like studio type resources available for artists like that?
Remember, these are productions we are channeling out to mainstream media, to other media platforms to reach our audience. So what we are insisting on is we must have quality productions. And for us to have quality productions, then we must put quality time in preparation for those productions and quality instruments. The artists, the money the artists are getting is for their use, not to be used in the production. It is as if we are giving them something to survive on in the meantime, as long as they have a production, which then the production team will record. So, but before we reach there, for us to know that they have a production, they can use simple gadgets like a phone. Nowadays we have phone films being shot. So they can use simple elements like a phone to shoot a production, send to us, then we evaluate and see there is a good production from Mweni, and so we need to find a way of recording that production before we push it out. And again, something I need to assure artists. We have, as much as we are looking at that particular vulnerable artist, but we also have professional artists in those various genres whom we will be working with to sieve through the submissions. And after we have identified them, the professional artists will still help in quality assurance so that we have a good production taken out to the media.
All right, thank you very much, Bwana Michael Pundo. Thank you for the questions that you've asked. Go ahead and go to the website of the Kenya Cultural Center, and you can get in touch with them through submissions at kenyaculturalcenter.go.ke, and I'm sure a lot of the questions that you have will be answered there. Also go to the Culture TV properties on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and you can ask your questions, and we will find Michael Pundo and the team from the Kenya Cultural Center to answer those questions. God bless you, and have a good afternoon. It is afternoon. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.